plugs out there for you. We're going to have a good time. Hi! How are you? However you'd like to express your worship, we welcome it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all ready to sing with us? Yeah. Maybe? Okay. Can y'all stand up with me? I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a sanctified soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. If you're out there, come on and clap your hands with us. Even wave if you want to. We want you to sing back to us. The second verse says, whoa, if I die, let me die
in the army of the Lord.
Do what I believe. If I die, let me die
in the army.
Hey, if I die, let me die
in the army of the Lord.
Hey, if I die, let me die
in the army.
Oh, everybody clap those hands. Back to the top. One more time. I'm a soldier
in the army of the Lord.
I'm a soldier
in the army.
I'm a soldier
in the army of the Lord.
I'm a soldier
in the army.
Oh, Jesus, I'll never forget what you've done for me. Jesus, I'll never forget how you set me free, how you brought me out. Jesus, I'll never forget, no, never. Oh, Jesus, I'll never forget what you've done for me. Oh, Jesus, I'll never forget
how you
set me free. Jesus, I'll never forget how you brought me out. Jesus, I'll never forget, no, never. What about this? Oh, God is a good God. Yes, He is. I know God is a good God.
Yes, God is.
Oh, God is a good God.
Yes, God is.
Yeah, God is a good God. Yes,
God is.
I'm a soldier
in the army of the Lord.
I'm a soldier
in the army.
Oh, I'm a soldier
in the army of the Lord.
Oh, I'm a soldier
in the army.
Hey, if I die, let me die
in the army of the Lord.
Hey, if I die, let me die
in the army.
If I die, let me die
in the army of the Lord.
If I die, let me die
in the army.
Thank you for singing with us.
Good morning, Valley and Mountain. Hi, I'm Sarah. My pronouns are she, her. And I've been at Valley Mountain for 3.5 years. I came here at the height of the pandemic because I was looking for a home. I was looking for a spiritual home, and I was looking for a community of people that were multicultural, multi-ethnic, and full of love and connection, full of love and spirit. And I found it here. And so you are welcome. All of you are welcome here. Everybody that you know that needs something like what we have here, invite them to come and join us. We want to fill this space with people of good heart and good spirit. And everybody's welcome here, no matter what you believe, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter whether you are on top of the mountain feeling really awesome, or you're down in the dumps and feeling the heavy weight of what's happening in our world today. You're welcome here. We come together to support one another, to love one another. and to make peace in our world. That's why we come together. And these are the times when we most need connection. We most need to connect with each other right here in this space. So I invite all of you to be present and to be in your feelings and to know that you are welcome. All of you is welcome here. The authentic you, no matter what that is, you're welcome here. I'm going to light a candle, and I'm going to go down to light it, and I'm ask each of you while I do that if you would turn inside and turn on the light that lives in you. The light of the divine lives in you. It lives in all of us. So if you would turn that light on and have it shine brightly, because we need that in our world today. We need all of us to shine our light. So whether you're at home or whether you're here in the building, please turn on your divine light and shine it brightly so that all of us may experience that and know and remember that we are loved and that together we can create peace in our world.
Thank you, Elder Sarah. So this month our series theme is Becoming. And when you see me looking down at my phone, I'm interacting with folks online. I'm not paying attention. I'm saying hello to our online family. And I'm seeing people who are in transition. I see our college students on there. Josh, I see you on here. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are. But y'all know this song. It's no matter where you are on life's journey or where you're coming from, you're always at home. But in that theme of becoming, you're still at home no matter what you're becoming. We're all changing. We're all evolving. You might look a little different, sound a little different than you did last time I saw you, but you are still at home. Can we sing that together? No matter where you are on life's journey, or where you're coming from,
You can
always call this place home. No matter where you've been or what you've done. Yep. Sing it again, no matter. No matter where you are on life's journey, or where you're coming from. Come on in. You're at home. You're coming from. You can always call. Always call.
this place home.
No matter where.
No matter where you've
been
or
what you've done. Can we sing that again? No matter, no matter, no matter, no matter where you've been or what you've done. No matter where you've been or what you've done. One last time, no matter where you've been or what you've done.
Good morning, Valley and Mountain. So good to see each and every one of you here this morning. And we are at that time in our service where we practice this spiritual practice of grounding our bodies, of centering our breath, of bringing all the parts of ourselves, our spirit, our bodies, our mind into this place so that we can be connected to the divine, to ourselves, and to one another. And so I want to invite you this morning to take a moment and check in with yourself. Where are you? And you can close your eyes or keep them open and give yourself a few moments to take some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. And check in. And we've been acknowledging in community that there is a lot of collective grief that we're all holding in these days. And so maybe you're noticing that in your own body. And so today, we want to hold space for that grief and pray this prayer together. This week, I had the privilege of gathering with other interfaith leaders, led by Anila from MAPS and Rabbi David from Kadima. They convened this time for us to come together and to respond to what is going on in Gaza. And then later that day, I had the privilege of joining a training with the Rising Majority, because it has been so heavy, and I know that it's been on all of our hearts and minds of how can we respond, what is our response, and we know that this season that we're in is an emergency. It's a crisis that is going on, and we see the wave of that violence happening all over the world with the rise of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia and all this violence that's going on. And so today we name that we are calling for a release of hostages. We're calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. And we are naming that we're holding that grief in our bodies. And we need to, so that we're connected to those that are suffering in the world. And so our care team that we have at Valley Mountain got together this week. And this team gets together a couple times a month. It's Elder Sarah, myself, Mick Summer, and Adrian Papermaster, who isn't here with us today. And we pray with each other for this community, for people in this community, as well as for our larger community all over the world. And we prayed this prayer called Prayer for the World that was written by Mirabai Starr. And we want to hold space and ground with this prayer. So if you can join us, we will pray together. Do you want to start? Yeah.
Beloved one, living light, spirit of all that is, thank you for welcoming us to this sacred circle. Comprised of every hue on the spectrum of human community, be with us now as we lean in to hear your call. Stay close as we stand up to speak your message of unconditional love.
Divine Mother, embodiment of mercy and compassion, enfold us in your protective cloak. As we dare to take in the pain of the world, give us the courage and strength to drop our preconceptions and step into the field of global strife, armed with the flaming arrow of unconditional love.
Sacred friend, hidden behind the eyes of the broken, reveal yourself. Let us behold the beauty of your face in all beings, everywhere, always. Where once we perceived only the impossible, blinded by our desire for circumstances, people, and our own sweet selves to be different. Let us rest now in what is, alert to your power to astonish us with the global awakening of unconditional love.
Holy One, we carry legacy of our ancestors in the marrow of our own souls. We are all reluctant prophets. We must be called and called again and yet again. We turn and turn away. We yield and bow and rise until at last, clasped by the ferocious wings of your angels, we declare Hinyanyi. Here I am. Make of me a vessel of your divine will, the will of unconditional love.
Great Spirit, true self and no self, fill the hearts of our leaders with humility and holy awe. Embolden them not to turn away from the other, but to lay down their weapons and take the adversary in their arms. Infuse them with the fire that melts swords into plowshares and spears into pruning hooks. Show them the secret passageway from hopeless conflict, home to unconditional love.
Father, Mother God, may the children of Abraham and Sarah at last fall silent in the face of your radiance. May our hearts soar in remembrance. May our knees bend and our bodies bow down and our spirits rejoice, overflowing with unceasing prayer, resounding in cleansing and blessing all the land. There is nothing but you, nothing but God, nothing. And all God's people said, Amen.
It's not easy to be in and around war. It's really about death and destruction and darkness, and that's when we most need each other. We most need to come together in community and hear each other and hear what's coming from each other and support each other in unconditional love.
Thank you, Elder Sarah. I remember one of the first times I came here, you just came up and gave me these words of life, and ever since then, every time you have an opportunity, you always speak life to me, and I just want to honor you. Thank you for all that you bring, the wisdom, and it's just, my grandmother's far away, and so it's nice to have that spirit around. Thank you. It's gratitude's time. How y'all feeling? How's your heart? Thank you for responding. It's good to hear. This is the portion of our celebration where we celebrate our wins together. We pray and mourn and grieve, and we express gratitude. And so I would love to hear what's on your heart this morning. Thank you, Summer. I'm going to give you the mic here. But does anybody want to share? I'd love to hear from you. Hey, I see one back there.
As we run the mic around, if y'all want to create a stack, I can keep track of whose hands go up as best we can.
Hey y'all, my name is Jared. There was a community advocate named Elijah Lewis a while ago, maybe on early April, that was murdered in our area for most murders, really senseless. And yesterday was his birthday. So a lot of us in the community in the South End and the Central District grieved for his loss. But also on a grateful note, they made a day yesterday. So now officially November 4th is officially Elijah Lewis Day in the city of Seattle. He did so much in this community, and I think that, I'm not sure if this is appropriate to say, but they even had a service here, so this place felt even more special to recognize what he was as a brother to me. But it was really cool to know that we have a day after him now, so he's cemented in Seattle's history.
Wow, that is amazing. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else? Up here? You got one?
Yeah, Beth, I'm on my way over.
Slides are bright today.
I have one.
Okay.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here and to sing with all of us together, and sing with the band and be led by Mercedes. And my gratitude is about Michaela, who is the choral director from the Seattle Opera, and she took a group of veterans from all branches of the military, and she took a group of us. I call us the Motley Crew, and she turned us into a real chorus and we sang on Friday night with the United States Soldiers Chorus, and we sang with all our hearts about peace and love and spirit, and it was wonderful. And so I just want to give gratitude to her and for all the work she did with us to turn us into a chorus that really worked, and that we could feel proud of, and for the opportunity to meet so many wonderful young people full of life who are traveling the United States, lifting their voices in song on behalf of a world that we all want to live in. And so I just want to express my gratitude for that, and for the ability to be able to sing myself.
Hi. Good morning, friends, family. I'm grateful for our kids today. We have 3 big kids. They're not cute. They're not little. They're stinky, and they leave a mess. What?
They're cute to me.
I mean, they're kind of cute, but
Okay.
they're not like little cute,
No.
right?
Different cute.
It's a different kind of cute. And they drive us crazy, but I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of the people that they're becoming. I'm really proud of the way that they are expressing themselves and wrestling with different things and stepping into who God has created each one of them to be. I don't know, it's just really special. And this week, with everything hard going on, it was so nice to have family dinner this week. And they just sat on the couch with us yesterday. They just hung out. It was cozy and sweet and heartwarming and kind of disgusting if you really get into it. But like, I'm so grateful. And I talked to Macy this weekend, and she's doing good, and she's blossoming into this person that, man, I always knew was in there, but boy, it's really exciting to see her discovering that part of herself. And of course, it's all contrasted by the knowledge that there are mothers all over this world right now who have buried their babies. It's devastating, and so I'm so grateful for my kids, for how big they are, for how grown they are, and for the privilege of hoping for a future where they get to keep growing.
Amen. There's a couple online if someone else, you want to walk the mic. Good morning, Susanna. Gratitude for being in groups, working to live, bringing safety, love, and care to the world and each other. And then good morning, Eric. I'm grateful for family members' continued health even while going through some trying medical issues. We are sending love and light and healing that way, in that direction. Was there? Hi, Krista.
Hi, I just want to express my gratitude for everyone who's been able to be in the streets and calling for ceasefire, and particularly express love for I have a lot of very close Jewish friends who are speaking out for ceasefire, but also feeling the disconnect in family and the way that that is scary for their families, and just how complicated it is. And I just feel their bravery, feel them explaining to their children, anti-Semitism and the need to call for an end to genocide. It is a really complicated place, and I just want to hold so much love for those friends, and of course for so many people, right? They're just the closest to me right now. And just also gratitude that, I can't be out there right now, and I wish I could. And so grateful for them, that they're out. Yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Krista. I also want to share gratitude for the folks who have been organizing direct actions all over Seattle. There are a lot of different organizations who have been coming together and naming the injustices and talking about Palestine and Israel with a lot of nuance. And as somebody who's growing into myself as what Rabbi David this week, Rabbi David of Kandima, has been calling our interfaith leaders tradition keepers. And it feels like a more accurate term, but as a student and someone growing into being a tradition keeper who desires to tell story, I was there at the Federal Building on Friday for the 4th action calling for Patty Murray to call for a ceasefire. And one of the things that just really struck me is how incredible that there are so many local community people and people of faith of all different traditions who have been really rejecting any sort of simplification of what's going on, and really giving us space to feel the nuances that Krista named and to support one another in ways that are honest and authentic and don't continue to equate human beings with their governments, that don't cause harm or say that we have to choose a side, but that we can call for an end to oppression while also naming that everything is complicated. And thank you for speaking to that. And thank you to Rabbi David, thank you to Anila, thank you to a lot of people who I'm not going to name right now, who are just continuing to hold that space too. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Natalie. I haven't been here for a while, so it's good to see some new faces and some familiar faces. I just wanted to say I am feeling really grateful right now for the way the youth today are creating freedom for all of us in terms of our identity and our gender. I'm hanging out with a lot of high school students right now, and the beautiful play and creativity that youth are injecting into gender has given me a bigger sense of freedom for myself already, and I just recognize the bravery that it takes for someone so young to be so playful in order to honor themselves and their own truth, and I see that all over the community, and I'm just so grateful for their leadership in unpacking the traditions that we've been handed that might not be serving us in a way that is opening up freedom for so many.
I'm gonna walk this back to our youth to see if they have any specifics, but if you have a gratitude too, please raise your hand and we'll bring the mic around. I'm trying to look at everybody. Bethany or Roscoe, anything you want to say thank you for today during our gratitudes? Do you want to say thank you for anything? Roscoe said a soft thank you with a punctuated end. Thank you, Roscoe. Okay. Sam, Izzy, Joe, our youth leadership? No? Okay. I hear Mara's got something.
I just had a moment yesterday. I got to speak to a group of retired teachers and who support the organization that I work for, which is a university in Ghana. And I'm always reminded in the presence of children and elders that when things look hopeless and when the systems we've created seem like they cannot be undone, to join young people or elders and be reminded of what is possible. Because I think we come back to our sense of possibility the older we get and the freer we get from the systems that we're part of day to day. And so I was so grateful to be with these teachers who were just so dedicated to our public schools and supporting teachers and supporting kids and so passionate about what they'd done in their careers and not in any way ready to step away from being active despite being retired. And yeah, so I'm just grateful for that reminder.
My name is Deanza. My pronouns are she and her. I'm one of the pastors here. And as I was just sitting there, I was just kind of looking out at all of your faces and feeling just an overflow of gratitude for this community. I've been at Valley and Mountain for about 7 years now. And this community has helped me through so many different seasons of life. And the wisdom and the brilliance that is in this room, and the way that we're called in to learn together and to support each other, to encourage each other, to love on each other, is just such an honor to be a part of. So I just wanted to name that, because as a staff and as a board, we're always, thinking through how are we creating space and what does that look like, and just being here today and getting to look out and see all of your faces. This is why we do this, is so that we can be together. And on that note, Rev Sekou is traveling, and today he is leading a funeral for a close friend, a family member of his. And so just prayer for him and for their community today as they gather in remembrance of Mo.
Anyone else?
Hi everyone, I'm Felicia. This is my first time here. Thank you so much. It's been a beautiful time. I'll try to speak up. I know I'm soft-spoken. I am very grateful today for my elders, for mothers and grandmothers in my life. These have been folks who have cloaked me in protection and fed me and my spirit and my belief in myself. And it's just doesn't seem like a coincidence in the prayer. There was this beautiful line to our Divine Mother about cloaking us in protection. And just before this, my grandmother right here had given me this beautiful coat this morning. And I thought of that as I heard the prayer. And I'll think of it every time I put it on now. So, very grateful.
I love it here.
Anybody else as I'm walking by? Okay.
Well, mine's pretty short and sweet. Paul, thank you for the invitation this week to go to All Souls Mass at St. James Cathedral. Check. And Bethany came begrudgingly at first. All Souls Mass was to honor, I'm talking about you, honor those who've gone before us. And of course, I'm thinking about all of these people who've died needlessly, children specifically. And I'm also mourning eras of my life that are ending, people who aren't in my life anymore. It was a good chance to just release all of that and honor how I felt. But it was the most beautiful music that I'd ever heard in my life. I love classical music, and I haven't been to Mass for a long, long time, and so it was pretty nostalgic for me. But the most beautiful thing happened. At first, Bethany heard this riveting music and was afraid. And so they got real close to me, and I was like, wait, what's wrong? And she said, I'm afraid. I said, are you sure it's that? Because there was like tears in her eyes. And it was just so cool to see, like, oh no, it's not fear. I'm shaken by this music and this emotion from this music, and you could just feel in the room what was going on. And I just thought it was a really cool experience to be able to kind of guide Bethany through that. And by the end, it was like, oh, it was so beautiful. I loved it. And I was like, yeah, I just need you to sit and take it all in. So, Paul, thank you for that invitation. There were some beautiful words. I can share the program with you later, but it was just really a lovely, lovely time. I believe we have a time this afternoon for All Souls. So there's information in the newsletter so that we can continue that All Souls celebration. But for now, because it's been a long time since we started Gratitudes, let's sing together. I am grateful for the things that you have done. Yes, I'm grateful for the victories we won. I could go on and on and on about your word. to praise you, Lord, and it's flowing from my heart, flowing from my heart, oh, flowing from my heart, flowing from my heart, flowing from my heart, flowing from my heart. Oh, it's gratefulness. And so usually we pray to end this. And so, Spirit, God, I just say thank you for all the things that were shared and all the boldness people had to talk. Thank you for what you are in our lives and giving us comfort and strength in the time of grief. Thank you for your love and your strength that's going to get us through this next week until we can meet again. In your many names we pray, amen.
Thank you all for being here for our children's moment, a time where we get to hear our youth's voices and sometimes a little too much of my voice as we center the youngest people here in our space together. Today I wanted to ask Roscoe, is there anything very hard about being a kid?
Very hard.
No, nothing is very hard? I am so happy to hear that that's your experience today. Is anything about being a kid different on other days? No? Good question. Anything you don't like? Some excellent moments happening if you can't hear. Megan asked Roscoe, "Can I help?" And Mara said no. So we won't be hearing. Do you want to share anything about what's hard? No. Well, Bethany and I were talking, and I asked Bethany, what's hard? Is it okay if I say this out loud, Bethany? I got a thumbs up. I asked Bethany, what's hard about being a kid right now? And Bethany informed me that one very hard thing is not being able to drive. Bethany's not able to get McDonald's by herself, get in a car, drive, and that's really hard right now. And sometimes what's hard about being a kid is adults make choices for us. And it can be hard feeling listened to. It can be hard getting the cravings we have met when that's part of it. Any other youth in the room or kids want to share something that's very hard? I can bring the microphone to you, or you could come up here. I'm watching the body language of some of our youth in the room to make sure. I know we have some parents in the room on stage and some parents out here. As we shift from our children's voices, parents, Is there anything you've noticed that's really hard about being a kid? Maybe something your children have taught you this week or this month that's hard? Cleaning up after yourself is hard.
I remember when I was a kid, a long time ago, that it was really hard for my voice to be heard and taken seriously because I was a kid.
I spent my childhood in church, and so I really try to soften the blow for Bethany because every holiday, every birthday, every time I want to go be with my friends, we are on the church pew, and it was awful. I learned a lot, and I'm appreciative now, but when I didn't have a choice, it sucked.
Yeah, I heard something else too. Getting your parents' attention is hard. Yeah. Being taken seriously, right? Sometimes adults project onto children that everything they do is cute or humorous, and sometimes they're not expressing being cute or humorous, but we act like that's what they're doing anyway. We don't take them seriously. Thank you for people who used to be children for remembering that. Yes. Roscoe, are those stomps any indication that you want to say something? I'm just checking. Okay. I saw you reach.
Getting to bed and resting even when it's really good for them.
Yes. Getting to bed and resting is hard. I saw a couple more, and then we'll wrap up talking about hard things.
I got one. Taking care of other people when you still have to take care of yourself is hard.
Taking care of other people when you still have to take care of yourself is hard. What else? Yeah, so I'm hearing that it's like adults' expectations that youth immediately do something they're asked to do. Yeah, like whatever they're doing is not important in comparison with this ask that maybe an adult has made. Yeah.
I remember when I'd be together with extended family, and there would be arguments. People would be yelling and screaming at each other and arguing, and I would always go to the piano and play as loud as I could and try to imitate what I was hearing so they would get the message to stop.
And I saw Angela had one too. Mara, I'll give this to you after Angela too. Angela said, yeah, asking for help is hard, and being ready and open to help is hard too. Thank you for letting us witness you as you form your tongue muscle and build words, Mara. Powerful shares today. Roscoe, thank you for your body language and for sharing with us and for bringing Sky Dragon here. Thank you, all the grown-ups in the room, for your memories of what it was like, what was hard as a kid, and what might be hard for kids now. Thank you, Bethany, for sharing. And I also, as I close, just want to share a gratitude for all of the things that were unsaid. If kids are online, if there are youth in the room, if there are adults in the room thinking about what is hard or what memories may be hard from being a child, those things that we hold inside, even in silence, in a contemplative practice, which means in a practice where we believe that what we think is as important as what we say, what our bodies do is as important as what we say, we can honor all of that. So your silence is wise as well. So thank you. Do you want to say anything as we head out? Nope. Okay. Thank you all so much. Take this question home with you to the youth in your life, and without assuming, ask them, what is hard right now? What can I do better to help you hold the hard things? It's one way we can support our kids differently, especially little ones who are still learning emotion language. We're gonna sing together one song. It has 3 words. They're peace in English, in Arabic, and in Hebrew. Not in that order. Peace in English, in Hebrew, and in Arabic. Peace, salam, shalom.
Tell me the part about being my only you, the only you.
Yes, Mercedes and Elder Sarah and Paul and, sorry, I'm not skipping y'all. I'm just trying to like jump around. And Joe, Roscoe, Mara, you are the only you in this entire universe. And with your body and your actions, all of you, each of you, are deserving of rest and respect and love. Thank you for being here and a part of our service. Thank you for centering kids as a part of our time every single Sunday. And I hope you have fun in your breakout groups and beloved community today as we play.
Thank you. I just need to hear it every week. I need it. Sing with us real quick. Oh, peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. In Palestine, peace, salam, shalom. Israel, peace, salam, shalom. In America, peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom.
Thank you, McSummer. Thank you, kiddos. Thank you for all that shared today. Well, today we are doing things a little differently. I feel like we're going back a little bit in time to kind of how Valley and Mountain started, and that is through these experience groups, I think they were called, and they were little breakout groups of people to kind of reflect on whatever the theme was for the month, and to kind of get to process what it means in your own life, and then hear from others and share in the insights and wisdom that you all have. And then, so today we're gonna break out into groups of 2 to 4, and I have some handouts. Actually, I'll hand them out now, if somebody can help me. There's 24 here, and I think that'll be enough for everybody, but we can also share as well. Let me read the text for today, Luke 22:24 through 27. A dispute also arose among them as to which one of them was to be regarded as the greatest. But he said to them, "The kings of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those in authority over them are called benefactors. But not so with you. Rather, the greatest among you must become like the youngest, and the leader like one who serves. For who is greater, the one who is at the table or the one who serves? Is it not the one at the table? But I am among you as one who serves." The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. We are beginning a new series here at Valley Mountain. I need to grab some water here. We have started a series here for November called Becoming in Beloved Community. And as y'all know, we have been doing a real deep dive into this kind of idea around what it means to deconstruct our faith, or what it means to hold our faith in this perspective that it is constantly evolving over the course of our lifetime. And what does it mean to deconstruct our faith? What does it mean to sometimes leave aspects of our faith, our beliefs behind. What does it mean to reclaim parts of our faith? What does it mean to connect with new theologies and new ways of understanding, and integrating that into what we believe? And what does it mean to sometimes have no faith or to have multiple faiths and everything in between? And so we are continuing in that spirit of exploration around how we understand our faith to be evolving over our lifespans. And this series is part of that process of understanding what does it mean to become in beloved community. And we're going to break out into groups here in a moment and reflect on these questions together. But before we do, I just want to name a few things that can help us in our framing for today. So before we begin, I want to ask you a question to sit with for a moment. And I want you to think about your own human journey. And I want you to ask yourself about whether or not you are, that you like the idea of thinking of your human journey as a process rather than a destination. And so a process is something that has to do with learning and growing and developing over time. And a destination has to do more with having right answers and having certainty and having security in a particular kind of way. And so I want to ask you that question. When you think of your own human journey, what do you feel drawn to? The idea that your journey is a process or that it is a destination? And there could be a whole mixture of answers for us in there. And the reason why I asked that question is because it has been a question that I've been wrestling with in my own journey. I am going to be turning 50 in a few weeks. And I have been wrestling with all of this internalized messaging about where I'm supposed to be in the world at 50s, how I'm supposed to be in the world at 50, what I'm supposed to have at this point in my life, and what I'm supposed to know. And I have been strongly rejecting and rebelling against that notion because it doesn't feel authentic to where I'm at. I feel like more often than not, I'm in this process of unfolding and learning and figuring it out as I go. And I feel like that allows me to sit with my kids in their process as they're becoming and asking lots of questions. It allows me to pastor in a particular way where I can hold space with you, with the questions that you're asking and that you're wrestling with. And so I find myself drawn to the idea of becoming as a process, as a developmental process that we have that happens all throughout the course of our lives. I'm coming to the understanding that becoming is really a process of unfolding and evolving and inhabiting our bodies so that we can be authentically who we are. Is what Elder Sarah said earlier today, so that we can authentically show up in community and be who we are. Growing up in the church, for me, that was not the experience that I had. The church that I grew up in, it felt like conformity and assimilation was more important than even the quality of my soul. There's this term that I learned from the Filipino psychologist. His name is E.J.R. David, and he talks about it as benevolent assimilation. Benevolent assimilation is the idea that you being coerced or forced into a way of being is for your own good. And so you should be grateful. Yeah, it's not. It's not benevolent. It's not a good thing. But in these systems, what we come to learn is that the rules and the ways that we are coerced into being is more important than the actual condition of our souls and our lives. There's more interest in these systems to the following of the rules and to presenting in a particular way that we miss out on asking each other, how are you doing? How is your heart? Do you got what you need? And so becoming has to do with this process of becoming authentically who we are in community. And there has to be a safe place for us to be able to show up and be authentically who we are. And we have a lot to learn from one another when we show up authentically who we are. But also, becoming is a spiritual practice. And it is a spiritual practice of loving. It is a spiritual practice of loving oneself by freeing oneself of all of those internalized messages and oppressions. And when we free ourselves up in that way, it opens up an ocean of love that we can tap into and share with those that are around us. And that's what I think is going on here in this text with Jesus. He is not so much interested in our becoming great or important, as you can see. He's not that interested in what our status or our position is in the world, how we rise up through the corporate ladder. He's not interested in that. In fact, he asks us in this text to do the opposite of that. That he says that the greatest must become the youngest, and the leader must become one who serves. He essentially is interested in the question of how are we loving one another? How are we serving one another? He's interested in how people are being treated in community. Are they being included? Is the table being spread in a way that everyone has a place at that table? And so becoming in beloved community is a process. And that's where we can look at, if I can find it, this diagram as a way to, as a metaphor to help us to understand our own process of becoming. Because becoming is something that it's a cyclical process that happens all throughout our lives, over and over and over again. And so if we're able to think of that process kind of like a perennial flower or plant that develops over a span of time and goes through this whole process of shedding and growing and blooming and then shedding and growing and blooming again, maybe that's how we can understand our own process and how we become in our own spiritual journeys as well as in beloved community. And so in this process, we can ask ourselves, where are we rooting? Where are we shedding or being pruned? And where are we blossoming? Where are we getting opportunities to express and create and be our authentic selves in community with one another? So with that said, I want to invite you and maybe, meet someone that you don't know and get into a group of 2 to 4 people. And for the next 10 minutes or so, we're going to just have time for you to share. You can use these questions as prompts in your groups to help you process. And then if we have time, we'll just open it up because I'd love to hear, I think we all would love to hear what you all had to share with each other. So with that said, go ahead and find some folks to get in a group with, and you can begin this process. a couple more minutes for sharing. If there was someone that maybe didn't share as much, you can give a little space for them to share. Take another 30 seconds to wrap up, and we'll have the musicians come forward. Casey, can you play a little something? Okay. We're going to come back into the bigger group, and maybe there's something that came up for you in this time of reflection, and we would love to make some space for people to share what does becoming mean to you. We're just going to take a few moments. So if there's a few people that want to share, the intergenerational wisdom and learning that's going on in this room is really dynamic and powerful. I hope you can feel that. Anyone feel drawn to share something that came up for you in your group?
I was just talking with my friends Brandy and Maggie and talking about how much this place, this weekly practice and this space has come to mean as a connection point and just a rerouting. Feels like every single week we get replanted here and nourished, and we head out and the world just goes crazy and rips us up and feels like getting made into mulch. I was talking with Josh this morning too about how the words that we say here every week have been so transformative in changing my mind. Like actually, the way that those prayers, they're simple, we say them every single week, but they've changed my mind. They've changed the way that I think and feel and perceive the world, and it's amazing. I've never been in church my whole life, and I've never experienced anything like it. So that's what came up for us in our group. Any other person who wants to share?
They were such good questions, I will say. They were wonderful questions. You always ask good questions.
That's what I do for a living.
I realize. You're good at that.
Well, responding to the questions in our little group took us on a journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yes.
I decided while we were in our group that I'm going to journal, and then I'll come back and tell you later. These are such lofty questions. And I'm like, wait. Valley and Mountain is definitely where I'm rooted. I feel like I can call this place home, and y'all allow me to become. So, I mean, in short, this place. Thank you.
Do you want to go ahead and start with the song? Yeah.
Let's just stay with that song. Know that you are loved, even if you don't love yourself. Know that I love you. Know that you are loved. You're loved, you're loved. Even if you don't love yourself. I don't think the kids left, but we'll sing it anyway. Oh, there you are. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I love it. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So in my tradition, adults do that too when they get happy in service. They run around the building, so he's gonna have a good nap. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I need you to tell me the no part. Hide it under a bushel.
No.
I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Whoa, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Whoa, let it shine. Excellent.
As we say each week, Valley and Mountain is a community of co-creators. It's not a group of spectators or consumers. We pool our resources, and together we can do so much more than we could do apart. At this time, you can make an offering or even make your pledge right now. If you'd like to make a gift to the offering baskets, you can do that when you come up to communion. You can also give online, and there's a link in the digital bulletin to the online offering basket, or text to give the details in your digital bulletin. If this is feeling like a spiritual home for you, and I hope it is, and you'd like to become a pledging member or household, you can make an ongoing weekly or monthly gift. And the link is in your paper or digital bulletin, so you could text to give. If you'd like to redistribute resources through our Community Mutual Aid Fund, you can offer or request resources with the information that's in the bulletin. If this is your first time here, know that your presence alone is gift enough. And if you would like to make a contribution, you can do that as well. So we're going to take a pause for a moment while you consider all the gifts that you've been given and that you have, and what it is you're willing to share with others. Thank you for these gifts and the many ways that you co-create this community. Please join me in the offering prayer, which is in your bulletin. Wellspring of life, help us to use our offerings to make peace in our community. Set us free from fear, hoarding, and hostility, and renew in us the desire to become open-handed and open-hearted. Teach us to know what is enough so that all may not just survive, but thrive.
I'm looking around and seeing a bunch of thriving. I love y'all.
We've come to that time in our service where we gather around this table and we partake in this communion feast. It is a reminder to us each and every week that we don't do this work alone. We do this in connection with each other through beloved community, and that we're held in the unconditional love of the divine. And so in a few moments, on either side of the stage, we'll have gluten-free crackers and grape juice. You're invited to come forward when you feel ready to partake in the elements. If you'd like to be served at your seat, just raise your hand and we'd love to come by and serve you there. When you come forward, if you are feeling that you would rather not partake in the elements, but you would like prayer, let us know, and we're here to pray for you and bless you here as well. Before we have communion, we have a story to tell.
Long ago, Jesus arrived outside Jerusalem. The occupied people of the land went outside to greet him, and together they defied the emperor through the art of revolutionary street theater.
Adjust the mic this much. Jesus went to the temple, turned the tables, and welcomed in people who were sick and disabled, who had been excluded. They entered the temple, their stories were centered, and it was a holy place.
The night before he was executed as an enemy of the state, Jesus gathered his friends to sing, to pray, and to share a meal that would build their courage for the journey ahead. He broke bread, poured the wine, and said, "Do this in remembrance of me."
As we do each week, let's stretch out our hands and pray this communion prayer together. Gracious God, pour out your Holy Spirit on us and these gifts, that through this cup and bread we may know we are beloved without condition. Transform us, make us one body with you and with one another. Amen.
place for you.
Turn to me.
There will always, always, always be a place
For you
at my table.
return to me.
One more time, sing there is always, always be a place for you at my table. Return to me.
Wow. What a sweet, sweet service this was today. Thank you all for being a part of today, the celebration, and co-creating this time with each other. And thank you to the choir, to the bands, to our tech folks, to our volunteers, to everyone that makes this possible every single week. We're so grateful. And we have some announcements to share here in a few moments. Before we do so, we do need some help with some cleanup. So if we could get a show of 4 or 5 hands to help us out. Got 1, 2, and 3. Any other takers? 4, yay! You can meet us in the back and we can show you what we need to do to clean up today. And then we have a few announcements to share.
Rehearsal started today for our Christmas Eve service. It's going to be in the afternoon on Christmas Eve. The rehearsal is going to be December 6th. I'm happy to share the music with you. And I just wanted to mention, we're going to be doing familiar songs. You probably already know most of the songs. And so if you would like to come, I see some people who participated last year. I won't look at you. But please come sing with us. It's going to be super, super fun. It's already firming up to be a really beautiful time. So thank you.
If you are feeling enriched by today's service and you want to continue with us this evening, we'll be hosting a gathering on Zoom and in person. You can talk with Dr. Dianza for the address. Sorry, I'll talk a little louder. And if you'd like to gather with us in person, just check in with Dr. Dianza at the end of service. The Zoom link is in the newsletter. This will be for our All Souls celebration. So we will be joining together to acknowledge all who have died in the last year and share stories together. It's an open mic, an opportunity for each of us to talk for 3 minutes about somebody we have lost or a memory we are holding from this year. You can bring photos, but that will begin at 6:30 tonight and we'll go for about an hour together. We also wanted to let folks know that you can gather with us early on Wednesday morning. This week and in the upcoming weeks, Dr. Dianza and I will be holding a Zoom space where we'll be reading from the Sabeel Wave of Prayer. Sabeel is a Christian ecumenical group, and they offer a prayer service each week. We'll spend about a half an hour on Sunday morning in contemplative prayer space, honoring and talking about current events that are happening in Palestine, particularly in Gaza and the West Bank, as the crisis between the governments of Palestine and Israel continues, and as Palestine continues to see unprecedented and targeted attacks. So come with us, pray with us, be in Mixed Up Messy Emotion tonight at 6:30 or Wednesday, ongoing for the next few weeks. We'll continue to hold space in the ways that we can together.
If you all are feeling up for it, you can stand up with me as I share a poem with you in blessing and benediction. And I just want to name that this process of becoming is a radical, liberative work. That in this text, that Jesus is actually calling us to decolonize our minds and our hearts, and that when we liberate ourselves, we can liberate others in Palestine and in the Congo, in our communities, and in the world. And so it is a radical, liberative work that we're doing, becoming on this spiritual journey and becoming in beloved community. I want to share this poem to you. It's by Nikita Gill. It's called Baptism. I am still waiting to baptize myself in the kind of love that I can confidently call my own. I will wash myself with water made of self-care, made of kindness, made of joy. It is the day I will finally return to myself, learn how to call my own arms home. Blessings to each and every one of you. Go in peace.
Pancake breakfast. We forgot. Shoot.
Can you all come up here? We do have a very important announcement to make. It's pancake. There's a pancake breakfast that's coming up, and you all don't want to miss it. So we're going to have Gavin share a little bit more about that.
Hey, everyone. I'm Gavin. One last announcement. Sorry, I'll try to be brief because I know you guys want to get out of here. Sharing a table has always been a critical part of our community, and we want to continue to do that and provide as many opportunities as possible. Sometimes staying after is a little hard, so we're going to start coming early. So next week, starting at 10, show up. I will be making you pancakes, as many as you can possibly eat. We will have gluten-free options for those who need those as well. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring someone off the street if you want to. Doesn't matter. We're going to have a great time. And if everybody loves it, we're going to keep it up every second Sunday. So show up, enjoy, eat your fill, and share a table with us.
It's exciting. Okay. Take us out.
There will always be, yeah, always be a place for you at my table. Return one more time.